Hi, this is Jacob with PCTechGuide.com, and today we're taking a look at laptop wireless not working. And large parts of this guide will actually work for any computer. It doesn't matter if it's a laptop or a desktop or notebook or whatever you want to call your device where the wireless is not working. However, there are certain suggestions in here that do mostly just pertain to laptops. Now, we do have another video that's having trouble connecting to the internet. And basically that video is going to cover more of not being able to connect directly with your router. So by that I mean you're connected to your router but the internet's not coming up. So one of the first things that we're assuming here is that your router is already working. So to test that, if you have another wireless device in your home, try to connect that to your router and see if, hey, yes, the wireless is working over here, but it's not working on my laptop. And that's what this guide is for, is when it's not working on your laptop, but it's working on other devices just fine. So first up is ensure that it's on. And I know this may sound dumb. You're like, oh, of course it's on. Well, this happens far more than you'd think, especially on laptops. So like HP and the like, and Toshiba, sometimes they have buttons on it. So there might be a button on the left side or the right side, or it might be up above in the top bezel strip. And if there's a wireless button, make sure that it's on there, or there might be a hard switch, like I said, on the side of the computer. And if it's on the side of a computer, it's very easy for that to get bumped coming in and out of a bag, and that might shut it off. So go ahead and take a look on that and make sure that it is turned on. And generally, when your wireless is on, you're usually going to have a light somewhere. So there's like that wireless on your computer or wireless signal, and that's generally on. Oftentimes it's like a blue in color or green in color. So try to look for that. If you know what I'm talking about and it is on, then that means it is enabled. If it's orange or yellow, that means it may just be disabled, but it is getting power. So generally you're good, but still try to look and make sure that there's no switch. Next up, you can try going into the Windows control panel and see if the wireless card is disabled. And to do that, you can simply hit the Windows Start button, right click on My Computer, you will see Control Panel right there too as well. Basically, we're trying to bring up the manager. So we're going to look in here, and it's going to be called Computer Manager. You can also type this into the Run command, and it'll bring it up. So Computer Management, and that's also going to be under the Control Panel. We're going to go ahead and go under the Device Manager now. And in the Device Manager, we're going to take a look, and we're going to look for network adapters, which will be right here. And then you're going to see a number of network adapters in there. And generally, one will say wireless, and what you can do is you can look at it, and you can right-click on it, and go ahead and disable it, or see if it says enable, then it is already disabled. And generally, if it's disabled, it's going to have an exclamation point on it, or a red question mark on it, just saying, hey, there's something wrong with it. Go ahead and disable it, and then re-enable it, and see if that doesn't work to get it back for you. And all this is really doing is it's kind of re-initializing the driver, so it's disabling it and then turning it back on. And something could have happened where it just didn't start properly. And generally, if you would have restarted your computer, it almost has the same effect. Which, by the way, is a great solution too. Turn it off, turn it back on, see if that helps. Next up here, we have doing a system restore, which is really, really easy. You can just go down to, again, hit the Windows Start button, and then just type in Restore, and then select System Restore. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're just going to come in right here, Restore. And up on top, you might not be able to see it. It says System Restore, and what this is going to do is it's going to start up System Restore. It says I don't have any restore points because I never created one. I've cleaned all mine out. But basically, you'd go in, hit the next button, and then right in here, you'll be able to see multiple dates. And go ahead and go back to select a date when your computer was already working. So if it will say a Monday, and you have a restore point from just yesterday, and it was working fine completely yesterday, go ahead and restore it back to, you know, that Sunday or Saturday, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 days back. And you won't lose any personal data by doing this. It will uninstall any updates that came down that may be interfering with your connection for whatever reason. So those updates you would have to reinstall if you installed some software program during that time period, such as Windows updates and things along those lines, you would have to reinstall those. However, none of your personal work or your files or documents, none of that will be affected. Next up is reinstalling the drivers, and what this is going to do is it's going to reinstall the drivers that's controlling the hardware on your system. Now, those are possibly corrupt and they might be causing issues, and it may also be outdated. So by getting the latest driver from your manufacturer's website, which is really easy, let's say you have an HP computer, you go to hp.com, hit the downloads button, put in your model number. The same with Dell, Toshiba, Sony, and the like. They'll, at the manufacturer's website, they'll have a downloads and support section that you can download the latest drivers on. So just put in your model number. It'll tell you what wireless card you have installed in the system, or one or two options, and go ahead and reinstall that driver software and see if that doesn't resolve your issue. And you know, if you made it this far and nothing else has worked for you, this is definitely the next step that you want to go down. And I mention this just because, and that is, it might be turned off in the BIOS. So if you're not, let's say, under the control panel there, and it's not even reading it into under the computer management device manager, and it's not even reading that you have a wireless card, but you're like, I know I have a wireless card installed. Well, part of the issue might be that it actually got knocked out or loose. So what you can do is you can generally unscrew the back of the notebook or laptop. It's usually in the back. It's usually just one or two screws, and make sure that your computer is completely off. Remove the battery, undo the back, and see if there's a wireless card in there that you can reseat, and try that. And then if that doesn't work and it's still not showing up in here, and you know you've ensured that it's on, the other thing you can do is actually log in. And when your system first boots up, and it's different depending upon the computer manufacturer, but you can go into the BIOS system, which is generally going to be, you know, an F2 or F10 key, or a combination thereof on the splash screen. When your computer first boots up and it says the logo of the manufacturer there, usually at the bottom it'll tell you F2 to enter BIOS or system setup, something along those lines. And in the BIOS, it'll show you hardware that's installed, and I've seen it where people's wireless cards have been disabled. And don't ask me why or how it got disabled. You know, usually somebody has to purposely go in there and disable it. So I don't know, but you know, I've seen it happen on numerous clients' computers. It's rare. I've only seen it a few times, but it's something to keep in mind. And then if all that doesn't work, you know, you might just have a bad wireless card. So if you've already verified that everybody else can connect just fine, and you know you're not connecting because you're unable to even bring up your wireless card, and your wireless isn't working at all, then you might actually be looking at a hardware issue. So for that, oftentimes other wireless cards will work on that system. So you might be able to get away with trying another wireless card. If you have another laptop on another system, you might have to go to the other manufacturer's website to download the driver for it, and depending upon your operating system, it may or may not work. So there's a lot of, you know, technical know-how that's needed, but that's an idea for you to swap out, is just swap out the wireless card real quick and see if if the hardware is actually damaged, which again is going to be really, really rare, but it does happen. If you are able to bring up and actually see your SSID, so the ID, the name of your wireless network, if you are able to see that, then your wireless card is actually working. So that's not the problem, and this isn't the video you should be watching. You should probably be watching the cannot connect to my router, which I think I have under the internet video. So if you do a search on channel, it'll be in there. That's it for this video. I hope it does help. Hey, don't go yet. Our new Slow Computer series is now live on YouTube. It's going to cover things like why is my internet so slow, defragging your computer, removing all those junk temp files that's taking up all that room on your computer. It's going to cover virtual memory boost and how to get a quick boost in computer speed. And more importantly, we're going to go through the startup menu optimization with you and actually show you free tools on how to optimize your computer startup menu by eliminating all those programs that are auto starting on you. We're constantly adding to this course too as well, so once a month or twice a month we'll have another video in there for you just covering more tips on how you can speed up your slow computer.